A Christmas Eve disaster for Mascot Towers Retailers. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Now grab your stein of coffee, pour out the coffee, and add a rum and coke to it. Because we're probably going to need it for this story, because I feel sorry for the retailers at Mascot Towers. We jump over here, we can see, there are a group of retailers underneath here, while the occupiers in the apartments, while they're having trouble, aren't even able to occupy, well, their units. The retailers were told, their businesses would be closed, they'd be forced to vacate on the 18th of December. And then, of course, that was extended into January. So some good news. A Christmas present for the retailers there. Well, probably a little bit too optimistic. Because now, well, a Christmas disaster has fallen upon them with hoarding placed up or fencing placed up to limit all of them. I feel sorry for them. I really do. There's one comment in the previous video I did about Mascot who said he was one of the retailers in there, and I asked him, I said, are you gonna leave? Or are you gonna stay? And he's been there 10 years. He wants to stay if he could. That's the thing. You can invest a lot of money into a business like this. Your hopes and dreams, your energy, and let alone your finances, and it could be gone. What a year. What a way to end 2020, guys. What a way to end 2020. So let's have a look at this. Shoppers at a much-loved local supermarket below the beleaguered Mascot Towers are suddenly blocked from entry as barricades go up just 2 days before Christmas, leaving retailers to face massive losses. Customers of a popular community supermarket below a dodgy apartment complex have been confronted with barricades around the shop just 2 days before Christmas. Owners of an IGA on the ground floor of Mascot Towers in Sydney's inner south watched on Wednesday as a wall of fencing was built at the front of their store. The barricades were erected days after best mates Ward Mellick and Scott Hill were told their business had won a reprieve from being forced to close on December 18th. So it's only been 5 days. Basically, they're locking us out on Christmas Eve, Mellick said. Residents of Mascot Towers were evacuated in June last year after major cracks appeared in the structure, but businesses on the ground floor had continued to trade. And this is a photo the journalists had taken for the Daily Mail. Now, how can you erect fencing with fingernails like that? I know most of the guys watching, about 89% male. Ladies watching, can you let me know? I think, Maria, you're in the construction game. Let us know in the comments. Can you put up fencing with fingernails like that? Because I'd be damn impressed if you could. There you go. He doesn't have fingernails like that, does he? Are they the same company? Or maybe not. That's inviting, isn't it? You know why they're doing it. Because they're worried about things falling off from the facade. Now, here's the question. Could you ensure universal access or access to both parts of the retail tenancies if you built an enclosed walkway there? What would have been better? And then some signage going enter here. Where's the signage all over this thing going, we're still open, we're still open? That's what I'm used to seeing. Retailers were blindsided when Mascot Towers Owners Corporation told them on December 10 that access to their premises will be blocked due to safety concerns. A letter from the corporation's lawyers said the tower facades were leaning and unstable, posing a risk to the public on the Burke Street and Church Street boundaries. So if we jump over to Google, we can have a look here. Where are we talking at? There's Mascot Towers here. This is Burke Street, Church Street. So it's here. So these two boundaries here. So is the trouble in both buildings? Oh, well, it is, there'd be a basement, so they'd all be joined together. So these two here. So what boundaries does it... What, you have to come in through this little laneway or down here? Or? So, yeah. The letter advised a Safe Work New South Wales notice would require the erection of hoardings and public access exclusions to avoid the risk of falling bricks and rubble. Falling bricks and rubble on a building that's been finished for years. You should assume that as of the 18th of December, Your lot will no longer be accessible, the letter stated. Owner, occupiers and tenants will not be able to trade from the lot for an indefinite period of time from this date. I mean, that's just perfect Christmas news. I mean, I've had the thing where, you know, I'm half expecting to get a letter from a lawyer tomorrow, someone who wants to go me or sue me or something. Maybe something I said on YouTube, because that's happened something. They'll wait right to the last day to get you. Perfect way to ruin your Christmas, guys. Poor retailers in there. I mean, bloody... You'd hate to be a retailer and an owner of an apartment. That just... That gave Mr. Malik and Mr. Hill just a week to clear stock worth $400,000 and inform 15 workers that they'd lost their jobs in the lead up to Christmas. To give us 7 days' notice to pack up the family business is just nasty. He said it's cruel. And there you go. So... yeah. Damn. Last week, Safe Work New South Wales granted an extension to the required measures which allowed the retailers to remain open until January 29. When it was January 29, I thought, oh my God, I'm just going to get through Christmas and New Year's with the family, he said. I thought January was going to be tough, but I could focus on my wife and kids. I didn't think we'd be in this scenario where we'd again be fighting to save our business. As contractors began erecting fencing along Church Avenue about 7 a.m. on Wednesday, Mr. Malik and Mr. Hill estimated it would reduce access to their IGA by 90%. Shoppers were being forced to find a narrow entrance to the IGA off a mall on Burke Street, and many were walking on the roadway because of a lack of pedestrian crossings. So, does that present more of a risk, walking on the roadway rather than building protective hoarding? I mean, I know why they're putting the fence up, because it's cheaper than building a hoarding. And if falling debris, I mean, this is the thing, you know, when when they're doing construction and they're lifting things up and over and you walk under it on the pedestrian level, it's pretty substantial. So it's much more expensive than a bit of fence and some cheap ass mesh that they put up here, you know, this stuff. I had a mate in the printing game, and he was, you know, someone was asking him, you're going to print this stuff? And he goes, not worth it, so cheap, so cheap. That's more dangerous than what the building issue is, he said. It just seems like they're trying to get rid of us. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Mr. Hill said casual customers would not search for another way to get into the supermarket, which was now barely visible from the street. See, here's the question for the retailers. If they're not, you know, if they're reducing your visibility to such an extent and they're not providing, you know, a safe access to the... You know what they can do? They can say, no, sorry, we're still providing safe access. They just have to walk there. That's why you need to have it in your lease. Here's the lesson we should take away from this, guys. If you're signing up for one of these places, you need to have a drawing. And on the drawing showing we need access from here, we need access from here, and have everything documented to the nth degree. But, you know, how you're just going to live and learn, eh? People aren't going to do it, he said. It's just going to be a mess to get in and a mess to get out. One local resident said blocking the Church Street entry to the supermarket, which is next to Mascot train station, was more dangerous than any risk posed by the building. It's a disgrace, she said. You know that the towers are a bit iffy, but it's just stupid. You don't do this on December 23. So where is it? We'll jump over here, is it? So Church Street is here. So did they block here? Where's the IGA? There. Oh, wait, they blocked that. So why couldn't you? Here's a question. Why couldn't you just build up a little hoarding here? You know, build a little hoarding there, and just take it all the way back to the IGA or to the liquor. You know, they need to at least keep the bottle open, guys. It's Christmas. Mr. Merrick said he and Mr. Hill had prepared for a relatively normal Christmas trading, but were now facing big losses. Being Christmas, you stock up in December and back off in January, he said. We started ramping up our orders again. The worst thing is the perishables. Every day they lose value. He said some of the other 6 businesses below the towers could pack up and move, but his 500 square meter supermarket was fitted out with equipment worth $400 million. Yeah, it's the stuff in there. You can't just pack up and move a supermarket. Probably a grocery you could. But if he's got perishables and even just, that's not cheap, that stuff to move. We're not going to find another site like this, he said. Mr. Melick, who has 2 boys aged 8 and 6, and Mr. Hill, who has a 10-year-old daughter, have run the IGA since 2016 and have 15 years left on the lease. Ah, lads. The supermarket has a bottle shop attached, and Mr. Melick and Mr. Hill, both 48, also have a coffee shop next door. We've got a really good following, he said. It's a great community. We've got regular customers, and we've got a really good team. We've done the hard yards, and business was going along well. We were starting to get a bit of time with our family, and this happened. Mr. Hill believes Mascot Towers was more likely to be sold than repaired, and that his business would become collateral damage. I think it's got to the stage where there's no hope of it getting fixed, he said. I look at it like a modern-day Lord of the Flies, where you're on this island trying to survive and everyone's turning on everyone else. The owners of Mascot Towers are seeking millions of dollars in damages from a neighbouring development they allege is responsible for cracks in the complex. The developer claims Mascot Towers was already plagued by structural damage before they even started excavation work. And we've gone through the dilapidation report the neighbouring development have done. We've gone through it on this channel, everyone. A spokesman for the Mascot Towers Owners Corporation said the fencing was erected to comply with the Safe Work Notice and advice from its own engineers. There was no move to force the businesses out of the complex, and the barricades had only modified their pathways a little bit for their customers. That's not stopping their trade, the spokesman said. I mean, that's the point. If they're still allowing you to trade, you still have access to the premises, then you can't claim all of the breaches of your contract and your lease and get out of it then. Or damages. That must be what they're doing. Because they don't want to be sued by the retailers. This is not going to end well for anyone. The corporation was exploring a collective sale of the tower, but no potential buyers have been identified. There is no one knocking on the door saying we'll buy it, the spokesman said. While remediation work was on hold and litigation was ongoing, the corporation had to ensure the building was safe. In a nutshell, they haven't been told to get out, spokesman said, of the businesses in the complex. We've bent over backwards to allow them to trade. We're helping them as much as possible. So, there we have it, everyone. Sorry news for the retailers in Mascot Towers. It's just getting worse. What do you reckon? What a Christmas present. What a sad start to Christmas Eve. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, raise a stein for the poor people there. If you're a fan and want to support the content I make here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time.